During the 1920s, the main focus in business was productivity. Imagine working for a company that did not make you feel valuable or that you played an important role in their business. Would you still continue working for them? The human relations theory, founded by Elton Mayo, changed the focus of businesses, making for a much smoother workday. Considering that over 157 million Americans are working today, I believe that it is important to understand the human relations theory and how it affects our everyday jobs. Millions of people are impacted by the way their company interacts and treats them. After choosing this topic, I researched several sources on Elton Mayo and his theory, including the article titled Elton Mayo and the Hawthorne Experiments, written by Jacob Robertson and Garrett Carthors in 2017, as well as an article written by Patty Mulder, Human Relations Theory by Elton Mayo in 2017, and an article written by Vincent Van Vliet titled Elton Mayo in 2017. These authors are all credible in this field. Elton Mayo was the founder of the human relations theory, changing the way businesses functioned and the way they treated their employees. I first plan to discuss the early life of Elton Mayo and life leading up to his well-known theory in business. Second, I plan to cover the human relations theory and how businesses functioned prior to the finding of this theory. Finally, I will explain the impact the human relations theory had on businesses because of Elton Mayo. First, I will explain Elton Mayo's life prior to his impactful findings in the business careers. George Elton Mayo was born on December 26, 1880, in Adelaide, Australia. He was a psychologist, industrial researcher, and academic organizational management scientist. He conducted experiments with Hawthorne studies, which became the base for his lifelong breaking theories on human relations. According to an article written by Vincent Van Vliet regarding Elton Mayo, it states that he was successful throughout college, graduating with honors while receiving his bachelor's and winning the Robbie Fletcher's Prize in Psychology. Following that, he got his master's degree in 1926. Vincent Van Vliet also states that Elton Mayo's groundbreaking research began with workers working at a textile mill. Finding that the high rate of turnovers impacted their mental abnormalities, he was able to help them by introducing a period of rest during their workday. This research and his book, The Human Problems of an Industrialized Citizenship, was the foundation for the human relations theory. Elton Mayo was strongly invested in the Hawthorne experiment. In the early 1920s, there was a large amount of discontent workers within the Hawthorne plants in Chicago. Elton Mayo and some of his assistants conducted research while changing working conditions, according to an article written by Jacob Robertson and Garrett Carthors, titled Elton Mayo and the Hawthorne Experiments. They stated that the experiment consisted of observations of the woman in an assembly room. He changed several things, such as the lighting in the room, when breaks were taken, length of the break, and the time that the workers were able to leave work. Through the Hawthorne experiment, Elton Mayo discovered that when workers feel valuable and noticed, their work performances increase, but changing physical conditions did not increase their work performances. The Hawthorne experiments contributed to the finding of the human relations theory founded by Elton Mayo. The human relations theory states that employees are motivated by social factors like personal attention or being a part of a group rather than environmental factors such as money or working conditions. According to Patty Mulder in her article Human Relations Theory by Elton Mayo, she shares that prior to Elton Mayo and his findings, businesses in the 20th century focused mainly on the scientific management, which prioritized productivity and workers as an extension of the machinery. Along with this, Patty Mulder shows that with the human relations theory, employees were seen differently, as thinking beings with needs, who live to receive attention. Businesses now realize that employees thrive off the attention, increasing their work productivity. Due to Elton Mayo and the human relations theory, the culture of business will never be the same again. The human relations theory had a positive impact on businesses and changed the way employees were treated. Every employee is different in terms of character and behavior, along with having different values, standards, and desires. The human relations theory made it so that managers could focus on individual needs of their employees. The human relations theory places an emphasis on the employees and their personal motivations, as well as a group. This theory replaced the mechanistic perspective on management with a people-oriented perspective. Everyone is unique in their own way, as they thrive in their own ways, and therefore they are unpredictable. The human relation theory gave a different approach when managing a business with a thought that personal attention led to improved work performances. George Elton Mayo, born in 1880 in Australia, was a very successful psychologist, industrial researcher, and academic organizational management scientist with groundbreaking theories. His research led to the conclusion that employees are motivated by social factors rather than the environmental conditions. This theory changed the way businesses were run from then on and had a strong impact on the relations between employees and their employers. Elton Mayo was the founder of the human relations theory, changing the way businesses functioned and the way they treated their employees. Ever since Elton Mayo and his findings regarding the human relations theory, our workdays have changed for the better, as employees are now seen in a different light.